Coming at you with another color grading tutorial today. Recently did a shoot actually out at it was the ArcLight in Oregon City, kind of based in the Portland area. For those of you that are new here, up in the Northwest, it's full-time wedding filmmaker, and this was a style shoot that I recently did. I'm gonna go ahead and just put a few of the clips from the shoot up on the screen, but really happy with how everything turned out for them and just getting some marketing content out to them in their ways. So I wanted to, of course, go ahead and just show you how I graded one of these clips, and hopefully it helps. So let's go ahead and dive into it here. So I'm gonna switch over to Davinci Resolve, and here is the shot that we're going to be grading today. So we have our shot here. We're just going to park it right about here, which I think is a good spot. And just news alert, I'm actually not using a color space transform right now or doing like a Rec 709. I'm grading from essentially Davinci wide gamut is my color space, and then of course the output is still going to be Rec 709 2.4. But I've just really been actually enjoying the results I've been getting. I was kind of doing some A and B testing with what I was getting through CST versus just grading from this, and I've just really liked the results that as of recently that I've been getting from just grading with Davinci wide gamut. So maybe I'll do a tutorial on that or examples, but sorry, side tangent. Let's get back to it. So grading here. So we have our node tree today. So pretty standard stuff. You've watched some of my videos in the past. First node is going to be noise reduction. Second node, we got our primaries. Third is going to be our adjustments. Fourth is HSL, or hue, saturation, and luminance. 5 is going to be our look. Not going to get too crazy there because this was more of a like editorial type of shoot, so I wanted everything to look just very clean, so we didn't really get too crazy with like the colors and split toning, that sort of thing. We're going to add some sharpening, of course, at the end, and then maybe see if we like glow in the clip or maybe not, you know? So let's go ahead and dive into it here. So we're going to, of course, start off with our primaries, and if you watch tutorials in the past, we are going to be bumping up the contrast to start. So we're going to bring this up to maybe like 1.4-ish, 8-ish to start. And then I'm going to lift my pivot up a little bit. And then let's also increase our saturation, shall we? So we're going to boost that up a little bit, quite a bit actually. Put that at like 84, 85. And then I'm going to go back to my contrast, increase a little bit more, bring our pivot up just a little bit, and look at that. Just in like 3 steps in the primaries, I mean, look at how far we've come. I mean, it's B-Raw is just amazing to color grade with. I can't say that enough, and this is, I feel like, a perfect example of that. But we're not done quite in the primaries yet. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go to my mid-tone detail. I'm going to bring this down just a little bit. You all know how much I love the mid-tone detail. Honestly, one of my favorite features in Davinci Resolve, just to really kind of smooth everything out and not really give it that digital look. Then we're going to go to our lift and gamma, and we're just going to do a dance between them. I'm not going to adjust the gain at all on this clip. I'm just going to bring the lift down a little bit, and then we're going to lift our gamma up, bring the lift down, gamma up, and I think that looks pretty good right there. So just to give it a little bit more pop, okay? So first node, bam, we're already off to a good start here. We're going to go to our adjustment node, and here what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to our camera raw settings, and our color temperature, I think it's pretty good. I think we might bring it down just a little bit. And just a tip here, to make sure you're getting the cleanest image, always try to adjust your color temperature and tint in the camera raw panel, because that information is already baked into the file. So you're not going to lose necessarily any quality, versus when you're doing it in the primaries, you might introduce some like artificial noise you don't really want. So I would definitely recommend doing it in the camera raw panel. Next step is what we're going to do is we're going to go to back to our primers and go into our curves, and I'm just going to apply just a little bit more of a pop here. And how we're going to do is I'm just going to raise this up a little bit, and then we're going to go down to our darks and bring this down. And all this really does, it just kind of helps like just really smooth everything out a little bit more, but give the appropriate pop that you want here. So you can see before and then after. It's very subtle, but I think it's a really good technique to achieve that result that you're looking for. And like this clip, I feel like is already looking fantastic. We've only done like a couple things. So then what we're going to do is we're going to go to our HSL. This is already pre-done just in the interest of time, but I'll go ahead and show you what we're doing here. So we're going to go to the hue versus saturation. That's really the only thing that's being adjusted. We brought our yellows down a little bit, and then just our blues and a little bit of our reds. We didn't do anything in the hue versus hue or the hue versus luminance. So that's everything that's going on in the HSL. Now we're going to go to our look node, and really the only thing that I want to do is I think I want to boost up the saturation a little bit more, just because I really want her skin and the flowers to pop. And the next thing I want to do is I want to go to the gain, and I want to push this over towards the teal, really to sell that clean white look. And then I'm going to go ahead, and you're going to notice that I have the RGB value on. I like using this just as a general rule of thumb on the dress. And you can see here, you know, I mean, it's pretty much spot on. I mean, you can see it's pretty dang close as far as like white or very crisp white. We can also go over into our waveform here and see, you know, everything's looking pretty good. We got a little bit more in the blues, but as far as what I'm seeing in the image, I really like it. So I'm going to keep it here. And you can see before the look node and then after, it's very subtle, but you can see really brings her skin more alive, a little more magenta rather than this kind of greenish tint. And then we're going to go into our sharpening. And to sharpen, I just go over to the blur tool. And then in radius, we're just going to bring this down just like 2 notches, like bring it down like 0.48 or something. Like, don't have to get too extreme with that. Again, color grading, just a little goes a long way. And you can see, like, just in our primaries, that's like where the majority of everything happened. Like, look at how much was just done in that one node, you know? So, you know, I'm sure there's a time and place for, you know, definitely these crazy node structures and like doing a lot of power windows and that sort of thing. But at least for my workflow, and I'd say the majority of like wedding work and like commercial interview work, this will be more than enough. So apply a little bit of sharpening, and then let's see the glow tool. I do actually like it. So let's use a glow. So in here, what we're going to do is we're going to have selected output, glowing image. We're going to go down to our composite type, make sure that's selected as soft light, and then put our shrine threshold to 0. And then we're going to go to our global blend, and then just, you can see as we raise this up or down, it's going to increase the strength. So we're going to park it probably right around like 2.5. And that looks that looks great there. Okay, so let's see. We'll turn on our noise reduction as well. And look at that. So this is our final image. This is where we were at before. And then this is after. So, and let's just go ahead and play the clip from the start here. Yeah, I mean, it's just, and I mean, we got that relatively fast. I mean, as far as like me grading this, it would have taken me 30 seconds, if that. Of course, like walking you through it takes a little bit more time, but hopefully this just shows you like color grading doesn't have to be like overcomplicated. Like you can just get these great looks, of course, as long as, you know, everything's exposed correctly, and just really fast. And I personally just love grading, and you know, if there's any questions or anything like that you have, please drop them in the comments below, and hopefully you learned something from this, and we'll see you in the next one. So Murphy out.